create um, a creature on earth, the human being, and they asked him, are you going to create a person or an entity who will corrupt earth? He says, I know what you don't know. You know this story. Exactly, the writer here, Blake, of course we are all, all our religions are coming from God, whether Christianity or Islam. Exactly, the writer is showing this idea. Exactly, this question which was asked by the angels to God is asked now by the speaker here in this poem. The speaker, not exactly, not necessarily the writer. The speaker here is asking the tiger, was God was God or did God feel afraid? Did he think of the fearful consequences of creating such an evil, a powerful creature? The tiger represents fire, and the fire represents the free will, ladies. Okay? And by free will, man may corrupt the earth. Exactly the same question which was asked by the angels to God. And now again, other rhetorical questions are asked. The fourth stanza, which begins with what the hammer, what the chain, and what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what a dread grasp? Dare it, again, dareness. Dare it, deadly terrors clasp. Ladies, here, when the angels, ask God about this creation, that question, are you going to create this? This question includes some daring nature. I mean, the angels dared to ask God, how are you going? As if they are asking His own will. How can you? It means that they are discussing His own will, and this is not acceptable, of course. So again, there is an image of dareness. Again, the same question is asked. The fourth stanza begins, sorry, there is no in, begins with an awesome allusion. This is a biblical allusion, ladies, biblical allusion for the theme, but it is also Greek allusion to the god Hephaestus. The names are very difficult. Hephaestus. Hephaestus is the blacksmith god of fire, it means in hell, and metallurgy, who was plagued with a lame leg and toiled under the volcano, Mount Aetna, creating weapons, armor, and artwork for other gods who distanced him from his ugliness. Now, this god, this in Greek mythology, this god had a lame leg. Okay, so he was according the job of being the blacksmith of hell, and he was doing the armors and the weapons for other gods, from metal, of course, من المعادن. Okay, and this work, he was very artistic. I mean, he was very artful. He was very skillful in his work, and this art, this work, had what made him away from thinking of his ugliness and of his lame leg. Okay, when he says what the hammer, he is making the comparison. This is a metaphor of the blacksmith. This stanza is making a metaphor, or a comparison between God and the blacksmith. Okay. Uh, yes. Yes. because the blacksmith has the hammer to mold the metals in his furnace, okay, and make these artistic works of armors and weapons. Now, this metaphor of the blacksmith who is having the hammer, the chain, and the furnace, okay, you know what is a furnace? الفرن يعني فرن, okay. Is given, this image is, or this metaphor is referring to who? To God as a blacksmith. He says, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was their brain? What are the tools by which God has created this, or God has let's say created this creature, as if not only the creature, the brain is it means that this creature is very intelligent, is very let's say clever, to the extent that his brain was not, or its brain was not created in an ordinary place. It was molded just like the metal in a furnace. By the way, by using this metaphor, the writer wants to emphasize the idea of what? That the fuel and the brain of the human being is so daring and so powerful when it decides to do whether good or bad. From the words, Blake presents and images God like Hephaestus in a dark hell-like place. So here God is not in heavens. There is some other place where God exists, which is hell also. Just hammering away to create this beast. So the God who created the lamp, he moved to another place, which is a hell-like place. It is just like in hell, and he is using a hammer to create this creature, the tiger. By saying, in what furnace was thy brain, Blake is implying the tiger to be made of hard metallic stuff. So he wants to say that his brain is hard, just like a metal. So if we make this relation between the tiger brains to the human's brains, because the tiger represents the free will of humans or humankind. So that brain is so hard and unchangeable. It is not very simple, a very simple work in order to change man's mind. In the next line, he uses the anvil to paint the picture of a god hammering away on an anvil. These are all tools of the blacksmith. To close the stanza, Blake uses a lot of dark, ominous words. What dread grasp dare it deadly terror clasp? Ladies, D. Alliteration. What dread grasp dare it deadly terror's clasp? Again, grasp and the clasp. There is also a repetition of, a repetition of this voice or the sound, the pronunciation. Okay, the words dread, dare, deadly, and terrors are words that describe something evil. All these words are describing something evil. Dread, grasp, dare, deadly, terrors. Sorry, not to grasp. Terrors are all words that suggest evil. Blake uses these words to paint an image of the tiger being an evil creature, which begins to lean us away from the assumption that the tiger was created by God in heaven. So by emphasizing the evil aspects, the evil images, by using these words, the writer wants to say what? That the tiger was not created in heavens, the same place where the lamp was created. But again, you remember in stanza 2, we said that there is a comparison between two places. Did the God who is in skies or in deep depths or in deep distant deeps. Okay, there are two places. So there are two gods who created. Now we are told that it is the same God, but the place is different. It is the same God who created the tiger. He is the same who created the lamb. But so the tiger was created by God in heaven. Okay, but he is so he is also sorry he is also I mean the tiger is also created in heaven, but he is capable of two things, of good things and evil things. So he has the features of the lamb, of good things, and he has the features of evil creatures, of the bad things. The tiger and its deadly terrors clasp is more imagery is a more imagery to remind us that the tiger is dark, mysterious, and horrifying. So the features of this creature is are all features of evil things. Okay, if he has all these evil things, what is going to happen? There is some confusion, and this confusion, will I mean, this confusion had begun in heavens before it begins on earth, with the creation of this, exactly as if we are visualizing the same story of heaven and hell, and of the angels asking God, why did you create these human beings, humankind? Now there was confusion, a confusion in the sky, in the heavens, to the extent that the angels started to shed tears. Of course, this is biblical allusion. Blake starts his fifth quatrain with a powerful imagery as well as an allusion. Again, an allusion, not illusion. When the stars threw down their spears. Sorry, yes, yes, ladies, Hadil. You don't have any question? Okay. Okay. We go back to the presentation. Now, here in Greek mythology, there was the angels' war, the angels of the good and the angels who of course, there are two gods, Zeus and Lucifer. Lucifer is the god of hell, and he was followed by some angels. And these angels were doing evil things because they are the followers of Lucifer. Here, Blake is using an allusion from Greek mythology. He says, when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. The imagery in these two lines clearly forms some kind of a picture. Blake, however, had some hidden symbolism in the words in these lines. It is an old tale, this is the mythology, that the twinkling of stars are the angels in heavens. So the stars are the angels, okay, in heaven. Looking closely, it can be suggested that the word stars means angels. And the stars here in the poem, it means angels, okay? So the angels are throwing their own spears because of confusion. Why else would they do that except for during the war of yeah, it was this is a very long sentence. I'm going to shorten it. It is during the war of angels, there was a time that Lucifer became enraged and rebelled against God. So Lucifer, you know, Satan in biblical allusion and in Muslims allusion, or Al-Quran's allusion, there is Lucifer, who represents Satan. He was rebelling against God because of the creation of of man, and he rebelled against God and the good angels, God's angels. Lucifer then went up into the heavens and battled with God and his angels. Of course, this is in Greek mythology, and in Greek mythology. When it says the stars threw down their spears, it is talking about when God's angels defeated Lucifer's angels. So Lucifer and his angels were defeated by God's angels by using the spears. The next part of the lines, and watered heaven with their tears. The angels, the good angels, were very sad for their brother angels who followed Satan, and that's why they started to shed tears. They of the holy war of angels, the angels of God are watering the heavens with their tears because they feel compassion and sadness to their angel brother who followed Lucifer. Okay, so there was a confusion in the heavens when this tiger was created. Okay, and the continuation of this stanza is in this slide. The next two lines of the poem suggest something different. Now, there was a confusion, there was a war. Okay, so far most of the questions have led us to believe that the tiger is evil. So why? It caused a confusion in the heavens. It caused a war, the holy war of angels. So its creator would inherently be Lucifer. Okay. Now there is another idea that the tiger, because it is evil, so it is the work of the creator Lucifer, not God. This time the question points to the conclusion that it was in fact God who made the tiger. So I told you, ladies, there is some confusion. Who created the tiger? Is it God or Lucifer? And because Lucifer is representing evil, many say that evil comes from Lucifer, not from God. But it is God who is the creator. Now the question points to the conclusion. When he says what? When he says here, he says, "Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee?" It means, was he happy when he worked this creation? Was he happy, the creator? Was he happy when he created this creature, the tiger? Okay, of course, the tiger is representing who? Mankind. Was God happy with the results of his creation of mankind, the tiger? Did he smile his work to see? Did he actually smile to see what the tiger has or can do with its free will? In line 20, yeah. Yes. Yes, Fatma, it's okay. You have returned. It's okay. Now, in line 20, did he who made the lamp make thee? This means that this is where the table turns towards God as the creator of the tiger, not Lucifer. When he says, did he who made the lamp make thee? It means that it is not Lucifer who is the creator of tiger, it is God. Okay? In Black's other poem, The lamp is a symbol of perfection and innocence. It is a creation so pure, unable of doing wrong, being that the tiger is not perfect and pure. It is hard to believe that the same God created both creatures. Here the writer is trying to say what? It tries to say, or he tries to say that the tiger, if we contrast the tiger with the lamb, we realize that although the speaker of the both poems, we can conclude that the creator of the lamb, who created him or created it as innocent and perfect, also created the tiger. He also created the tiger, but he created it as not perfect and as being not perfect. Okay. Now, in the sixth stanza, we are going to continue questioning and questioning. By the way, the questions are not ending. They are endless, and these questions are roaming in our minds as human beings, as mankind. Okay? So it is unanswerable, or these questions are unanswerable. So the sixth and final quatrain of the poem is a recap. It means an identical repetition of the first quatrain, but with one different word. He uses repetition in the last line of the poem. Those three lines are identical to the first three lines of the poem. The tiger links to mankind. The burning bright refers to the flourishing and furious nature of the tiger, who is the mankind. The line in the forest of the night again is used as imagery to get the reader picture of dark. It is a repetition. Mysterious environment, implying that the tiger is not a creator. It is a creation. It is a creation of the night. He is a creation which was created in the night. Lastly, the immortal hand or eye is a symbol of higher power, who is God. What God is the one created the tiger, a creature that is both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. There is one difference that Blake made in his final stanza from the first one. The difference comes in the last line of the poem. Yes. Yes, ladies, who is asking? Yes, Ru'a. Sorry, Zahra Najim. Yes, Zahra. You are raising your hand. Let me. Yeah, please. By the way, yes, thank you. By the way, ladies, I'm going through the lines quickly because I have already discussed these parts. The only part that I didn't discuss, the difference comes from the last line of the poem, line 24. In the first stanza, Blake asks, could you frame thy fearful symmetry? Meaning, is God actually capable of creating a creature so terrifying yet beautiful? And can God create such a creature who is terrifying, but it shows his skill, his art of creation, beautiful? In line 24 of the poem, changes the question to ask, dare, not could. Dare frame thy fearful symmetry. Now the question is not if God is powerful enough to create a creature like the tiger, but what God could even dare to create a creature so terrifying. Here, ladies, the question is asked by who? By God or by humankind? By humankind. So the humankind, because they are not as powerful as God, and not as let's say skillful, and not as experienced as God, we consider that it is daring to create such a creature with a free will, knowing that free will may lead man astray. It means away from worshiping himself, from worshiping God, because by doing evil we are astray of worshiping our God and following his instructions. There is no one central point that Blake wanted to get through to us. This is the idea. In his poem, The Lamb and the Tiger, it was God who created both the tiger and the lamb. Although they are different and tiger is said to possess traits of evil, God knew what he was doing. And he made the tiger, mankind, to be free so we could live happily. So that we could live. Ladies, here, this is the idea that we are not responsible to know the answer why God created mankind and why God gave free will to mankind. Because things, by the way, when he is, the writer is talking about the tiger, in this poem, he is talking about all the traits as being mysterious. So everything about giving um, uh, the tiger its traits. Okay, everything related to the tiger, all the features given to the tiger are given to him or to it in a very mysterious way. Okay, so it means that that there are things we can understand in God's creation, and there are things that are ununderstandable, and we cannot expect that God would explain them to us. They remain mysterious. Later, when we elevate ourselves from our, let's say, humankind layer, we elevate, we ascend ourselves towards the will of God, we may understand this. I'm going to repeat myself. I feel that you didn't understand it well. When the writer describes, why does the writer describe the tiger with all these features mysteriously? He shows these features in a mysterious way. Why? Why the questions or sorry, why the features given to the tiger are not expressed in a very simple way as the writer expressed the features of the lamb? Because he wants to say that this mysterious aspect is related to the mysterious things God do. We cannot say does about God, which God do. Okay, because He is the only one who knows the let's say the benefit of this, the benefit of giving man his free will. We are not expecting that we must explain everything done by God. Okay, ladies, are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Yes, yes.
Clear, ladies, clear?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Yes. I thought you went to sleep and I'm explaining. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now we go through the themes of this poem. The first important theme is the existence of evil. Like its sister poem, The Lamb, the tiger expresses awe at the marvels of God's creation. There is excitement. There is a marvel. It means the تعجب. We are excited at God's creation, represented here by a tiger. But the tiger poses a problem. Now, what is this problem? The mysterious creation. Everything about it seems to embody fear, danger, and terror. In a sense of questions, or a series of questions, the speaker of the tiger wonders whether the creature was really created by the same God who made the world's gentle and joyful creatures. And if the tiger was created by God, why did God choose to create such a fearsome animal? Though through the example of the tiger, the poem examines the existence of evil in the world, asking the same question in many ways. If God created everything that and is all powerful, why does evil exist? If God has created us and created the universe as something gentle and joyful place, God, why He allows the existence of evil? The speaker tries to reconcile the tiger's frightening nature with the idea of loving God. We know that God is loving. Now, why He creates this frightening nature of the tiger? But this attempt leads only to a series of seemingly unanswerable questions. So the tiger is a continuity of unanswerable questions. The tiger is presented as an impressive figure and seems to be part of God's design for the world. So the creation of the tiger is summing up. It summarizes God's design of the world. It burns brightly and has a symmetry, a quality which Blake often associates with beauty and purposeful intent on God's part. But that symmetry is fearful. Sorry, ladies. What is it? That symmetry is fearful. It's also fearful. The tiger seems designed to kill and inflict pain. In other words, the tiger behaves in a way that seems counter to God's law and ethics. So the tiger here, which is a symbol for free will, of course, is behaving in a daring way against God's laws and ethics. The tiger's association with fire burning bright underscores this point. It is visually impressive but dangerous to get close to. So here, what is the idea? Because the tiger is associated with fire, it means that it is dangerous to go close to it. When you are going close to the dangerous, let's say the evil aspect, you are going to get yourself close to danger. So be careful when you use your free will. You have to be very careful in using your free will. The poem then meditates on the specific moment of the tiger's creation. When let me continue. When thy heart began to beat, it questions God's motivations in making the tiger, even considering the possibility that it wasn't actually God who made the tiger. There is some suspicion, doubt about the creation of the tiger. Was it created by the same God? If it is so, why? What motivates God to create such a dreadful creature? The speaker struggles to understand how a God that made the small, vulnerable lamb could also choose to make a being that would surely eat the lamb given half a chance. So it means what? It means, of course, the lamb is a presentation of innocence, okay, of good nature. So he is probably will be eaten by this good nature, maybe overwhelmed by the evil of the tiger. In other words, the speaker struggles to understand why God would create something that seems to have destruction as its very purpose. Now, if the tiger, as it is described, of course, the creation of the tiger will cause destruction, just like the questions of the angels to God. The poem, what is the purpose of creating a destructive nature? The poem leaves this line of questioning unanswered, of course. Though the questions are themselves made very clear and stark, they are essentially handed over to the reader to consider. So the questions are given to us, the readers, to find answers according to our beliefs and according to our philosophical aspect and according to our consideration, our reflection, our thinking. The speaker doesn't know for sure why God has created something that seems evil. The speaker doesn't know, so the reader is supposed to find answers for his own self. However, by detailing the tiger's fearsomeness and by directly comparing it to the innocent and gentle lamb, the poem hints that perhaps both the creatures are necessary parts. This is the question. This is the answer. That both creatures are necessary parts of God's creation. That is perhaps the majesty of God's work requires these kinds of oppositional forces. By oppositional forces, we can measure to what extent we are good or evil. Got the idea, ladies? Got the idea, ladies?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, in order to measure our good nature, we make a contrast. If we have some work, we are making a contrast between ourselves and others to measure to what extent we are good and to what extent we are doing bad. Okay, we have to have this contrast in our lives in order, if every day, if everything is okay and beautiful and everything is gentle and everything is fine, so how can we measure to what extent we are good in order to what? In order to be worthy of God's reward or punishment. Are you getting the idea? It is very close of from our own idea as Muslims. Okay? Yeah. Sorry. Yes. We go back. Both creatures are necessary of God's parts of God's creation. That is perhaps the majesty of God requires these kinds of oppositional, it means contrasting forces. By giving the tiger the same kind of consideration as the lamb, by talking about the tiger in the same way, or let's say in the same important way as we have talked about the lamb, the speaker suggests that without fear and danger, there could be no love and joy. We cannot measure our love or joy or tenderness compared to other joy, love, and tenderness. We have to have some oppositions to measure. Opposites run throughout Blake's work: innocence and experience, the city and nature, childhood and adulthood. And so the tiger and the lamb can be seen as part of this pattern. Sorry. In order for God to fully express his divinity, he has to create elements of the world that go beyond the understanding of it. This is the other important answer. First, we have to have some oppositional forces in order to measure the good and evil. The other thing, God expresses his divinity, okay, when he creates things beyond our ability to understand, beyond our understanding as human beings. God proves its power, his power, ladies, not its, his power, precisely because he acts in ways that the humanity cannot fully comprehend. By the way, by his own entity, Almighty God, till now, till we are dead, we cannot perceive fully what God is, because it goes beyond our comprehension. Our mind, whatever our mind, is huge. No mind, no human mind can include God in his mind, because he is uncomprehendable. We can believe in God through our through the creation of God, not by seeing or comprehending him. The poem then is a deeply complex set of questions that have no easy answers. There is no doubt through the poem wants its reader to consider the way in which the world seems to contain both good and evil. So it is up to us to acknowledge these contradictory forces and question why they exist, even though the answers may never be clear. Of course, we can never comprehend to what extent what is God's intentions fully. I mean, fully. Now, this is the first theme, the existence of evil. The second theme, creativity. Creativity, it means the creation. Ladies, I think we have only 2 minutes. Yeah, it's okay, Habibti. The lecture is being recorded. It's okay. You are going to have this. Yeah, you're welcome, Habibti. Yes, ladies. Now we go back to the explanation. Now, though the tiger is specifically about, I mean, the poem, the tiger, is specifically about how the nature of God's creation can be reconciled with the existence of fearsome tiger. It is also, please, wait, ladies, for a while, please. Wait for me, please, ladies. Yes, dear ladies, sorry for this interruption. Yes. Now, although this poem is specifically about the nature of God's creation and how can it be reconciled with the existence of the fearsome tiger, it is also the creativity more generally. I mean, the creation. Okay, everything about the creation of the tiger suggests effort, skilled artistry, and imagination on the creator's part, suggesting that these qualities are necessary to create anything, whether creation or other things, whether beautiful or frightening. Okay. What is more, the speaker also hints that good creation in art, for example, needs to incorporate the more dangerous and intimate. Ladies, all in all, instead of talking about all these things, he says, the writer here explains the idea that creation of anything, whether God's creation or man's creation, for example, in arts, in literature, this creativity may be good or bad. The poem itself is a creation of the writer. Okay, and Blake, when he wrote the poem, and he writes each poem, he revises this poem, trying to make of it in its best embodiment, okay, or best, I mean, the best entity that answers or that gives the idea clear to the to the readers. Okay, sorry, what is happening here? Okay. He says, it is important to note that the way in which the creation of the tiger is consistently linked with fire. Indeed, the tiger itself is a kind of a fiery creature, testament to the intense imagination with which it was created. Imagination itself is characterized as a kind of fire from which things can be created. If the creator is brave, strong, and skillful enough, there are many. Of course, imagination will be just like fire. There may be even an allusion to the Greek myth of Prometheus, who stole, as we said, fire from gods and gave it to humanity. Prometheus was not rewarded for his ingenuity. Instead, he was condemned to eternal punishment. So by stealing, he has done something bad. But the imagination is the location of a miraculous but dangerous kind of creative strength. That is why it takes bravery, the willingness to dare. As the poem. بنات أنا هذا راح ألخصه في سلايد آخر وأشرح لكم يعني لأن هذا it talks too much with repetition. Anyhow, here the writer wants to say what the idea of creation is what with creation needs a skill, and this creation, it is not only the creation of mankind, it is also creation in anything. For example, imaginative creation of the poem. The writer tries to be the writer is the creator of the poem, so he is also, just like when God was very keen in creating the tiger and in creating the lamp also, he was very artistic. The writer is going to be also very artistic in writing his poem, in putting his imagination in through words in his poem. But he must be very careful that this fire of imagination can either be good or bad. Okay? I think, where is it? Wait a minute, ladies, please. I'm going to sum up the themes, and I'm going to sum up the comparison. I told you about the comparison between the two poems on a slide, and I'll send it to you. Till now, this is the lecture for today. I don't want to continue recording because you say that it will be a very long one. So I'm going to stop recording, but I'm telling you that I'm going to record 2 slides, one for